time seasonally of our cycle. You know, everything is dying off, releasing, we're going inward, becoming more internal, withdrawing from the external world. And then when we enter follicular phase, that's the springtime. So it's like the rebirth. Things are coming back online, our hormones are rising again. We're feeling more active, probably more externally expressing, social. And that's a really good time to start new projects, to, you know, try something new. And then we have ovulation, which is the summer solstice. That's when we're the most whole, we're the most fertile. Our creativity is really sensual, and it's a time of nurturing and mothering whatever you're working on. It's a really good time to have interviews or business meetings, or, you know, just go out and socialize. And then after that, when we're coming down into luteal phase and premenstrual phase, that would be the fall. So we're starting to slow down, our energy is starting to drop lower and lower, hormones are going down when right before we start menstruating, and then like the first day of menstruation, we experience that hormonal plummet, entering into the winter. So yeah, I love talking about this stuff, but I would love to just have a brief intro of everybody who's here gathered at the red tent. So if you want to just pop off mute and maybe say, yeah, just, I'm curious, like, if all of you are even experiencing a menstrual cycle, and if not, you can also participate in this workshop, because we're going to be doing a little bit of movement, meditating, tapping into the womb space, and every body has a womb space. That's why I loved what we were just talking about, because even male-bodied people do have an energetic womb space that they can tap into. And, you know, we all come from the womb. That's how we were born. So, yeah, I just love to hear, like, whether you're experiencing a menstrual cycle, your name, and then what phase you're in of your cycle, if you know.
I missed part of the beginning of when you were talking about the phases. I was refreshing, so I'd love to talk more about that. My name is Laura Faye, and I am days away from my cycle. So I think I did get the end, the luteal phase. I feel like I'm there, like totally, and ready in a couple days to just let it flow.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm also in the luteal phase, and that's perfect, because we are gonna talk more about the phases and the seasons, and also a little bit about hormone balancing, which I love. Like everything in the conversation that was just happening in the theta healing, and then in the talking about the gender spectrum, I was like, oh my God, that's perfect for what we're going into. So yes.
I love it. I can't see Kiri. I just want to make sure I'm not talking over her. Can everybody else see her? Or can you guys even see me?
Yeah, I can see you, Britt.
Okay. I've been having some glitches earlier too.
Okay.
Can you come closer to us, Britt?
I'm Brittany, and I am also in my luteal phase. I'm about 10 days or so from menstruating, and Goddex gathering like 3 years ago is actually what inspired me to, like, a conversation like this is what inspired me to, like, really learn about my cycle and tune in with my body and not be on birth control. And I'm super excited to learn more about what you have to share around it, because I'm always learning and there's always more to know about it.
Can everyone see and hear me now? Okay, great. I refreshed. Yeah, I have an IUD right now, and it's a non-hormonal one, and in the next 3 months I need to replace it, and I don't know what I want to do next. So I'm ready for kind of like a different way of managing my menstruation, and thinking about going into motherhood and having that conversation with my husband. And so I'm excited to talk about the cycles and be here with all of you. And I don't think that could hear me, but I'm also in my fall stage of my cycle, which I don't know the scientific word that you said. I wasn't quite sure what it was.
Yeah, that's the luteal phase. and also like right before menstruation is premenstrual, and then like the luteal phase can be leading up to that. But it sounds like we're all in the fall phase. We'll see where Sierra is at. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. And we can, if we have time at the end or later on, if you want to meet up just together during the like free time, we can talk more about like, I'm going to get into a little bit of natural cycle tracking and the fertility awareness method. But I really recommend this book, which my computer is on top of right now, to everyone who, you know, wants to learn more and like really get deep into just fertility and your cycle, just everything about if you are entering into a mother phase. I just started reading it, so it's like, it seems like it's more geared towards like if you're really trying to get pregnant, but it also has information for if you're not trying to get pregnant, you just want to really track your cycle really well, naturally. Because yeah, we'll talk about the fertility awareness. But anyway, let Sierra go. She's ready.
Hello, can you hear me? Great. So I think I'm about 10 days after my last period ended. So is that also the luteal phase or no?
That would be your follicular phase, and like leading into, you're like maybe entering towards ovulation, depending on how long your cycles are.
Okay, got it. So I was really Brittany and I, that same one that we came to, we were both inspired and learned quite a bit about cycles, and I am in a really similar place to Kiri, so I probably want to start having kids, not for, probably in like start trying like a year or two, realistically. And I've been on birth control for many years, and I'm really being called to get off of birth control. I've had most of my closest women friends, to track their cycle, have had a lot of success. So I'm here to open myself up to that and teach myself. So
how to create these, which we're going to also get into. This is a moon dial, and it's a cyclical calendar that I used to draw by hand and create every month by hand, and so we're going to do it by hand for the workshop. But I also have this printable download that I made, which is if you go in the schedule by my name and workshop, there's a PDF of a ebook that I made, a womb wisdom ebook, and you can find it in there to download. But it's fun to draw by hand and like feel really connected to it. So I started to do that, and then I went traveling and I stopped bleeding for 6 months. And I had like just started to learn about all this stuff, and I was really devastated, and I was like scared. I was like, something could be really wrong, you know, and I was like traveling alone in South America, so I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just kind of, you know, prayed and ignored it. But then when I got home, I still hadn't bled after a month, so I went to get an ultrasound, and I had this intuitive feeling there was like a blockage on my right side, and I was like feeling into it and like releasing a lot of emotion, and I did have a cyst on that side, on my ovary. And just immediately when the doctor was like telling me the options, like, oh, you can take this pill or you can get surgery, I just felt this like no in my body, and I was like, no, that just doesn't feel right. This is something, it felt super like ancestral, and it felt collective, like just the collective pain of the womb and of emotional repression. And so I started to see an Ayurveda practitioner who has helped women heal from cysts, and she was recommended to me, and I, you know, gave her all my medical reports, and she helped me a lot. So I decided to heal it naturally, and also just with my own intention to connect energetically. I started bleeding actually the day after I got my ultrasound.
Wow.
So it was like my body, I just had to experience this profound, like, sensual, ecstatic reawakening with it, and I was like so happy to bleed. I painted with my blood, and I just experienced this trust in my body, in my own body, that I'd never felt before. Like my periods were always really irregular and painful, and yeah, ever since then I attribute this to a lot of things like nutrition and tracking and just like better habits, but I experienced like hardly any pain around my period, unless every few months there will be like, you know, some kind of purge that needs to happen. There will be a lot of pain, but I used to have painful cramps like horrible every month, like sometimes throwing up from them. So yeah, I started to connect with that and really started to realize how, you know, my creative energy, because I'm an artist, I've always been an artist and very creative, and I realized that if I could live in a way that was like in harmony with my actual physiological creative energy, then I wouldn't experience like the crashes that I used to. I wouldn't be like as anxious and stressed at different times, because, you know, when we're pushing our bodies past their capacity where they're at, like energetically, physiologically, it's like we can't, you know, we know that we can't be going and doing all the time, and that's the wisdom of the feminine and the womb, is like to have these cycles where we let ourselves rebirth and slow down and rest. And when we're on our period, I love to do like a little red tent wherever I am, and have at least 2 to 3 days, my first 3 days of when I'm bleeding, that I just don't do anything. So I'll like clear my schedule, I'll plan things, you know, around that, which is another way we can tap into that. I'm just going to take a breath. Yeah, a lot of us seem to be in the luteal phase, in the fall phase, except for Sierra, which is totally fine. But yeah, that is, you know, kind of like the exhale in the cycle. And Sierra is kind of in her inhale, like expanding, growing. So we're just going to do a really quick little bit of movement and breath. And can you guys let me know, you guys, let me know if you can hear me pretty well, because I'm going to move around. Okay, because there was some feedback when I first hopped on. So if you have space to stand up for just a couple minutes, and if not, you can also do this sitting. We're just going to feel into our bodies. You can place your hands on your womb and kind of rub like around where your ovaries are in your womb space, and just start to feel in. Can you hear me, Kiri? Oh, looks like she's frozen. Yeah, so just, yeah. You can?
Yeah, Kiri's good. She's not,
oh, okay.
You can hear me just fine, Kiri. She's giving me a thumbs up. So.
Okay, awesome. Cool, yeah, now I can see her. Sweet, thank you. Sweet. So I really love this movement that I learned. It's like a little body roll starting from the knees. And you're just going to inhale, do a little wave movement, and then exhale, kind of fold in. And you can just do that however feels good. And just starting to like really connect the womb space up into the throat. So opening the throat at the end. And you can do a nice sigh in your exhale with your mouth open. And just keep doing that for a couple minutes, and whatever intuitive movements your body wants to make, go for it. And starting to really feel into this connection between the womb, the pelvis, pelvic floor, and our voice, our two creative portals, right? There's actually this, our vagus nerve and this line of fascia actually directly connects from the tip of your tongue and your throat all the way down to your pelvic floor, your cervix. So it's this beautiful channel of sensitivity, and, you know, when there's a blockage in our sacral center in our womb, there could be a blockage in our throat, you know, tension in our jaw. So. We'll go ahead and find some stillness. Just place your hands on your womb space. And do the little triangle shape or maybe a heart. And close your eyes if that feels good. And also just kind of gaze downward. And see if you can let loose any constriction in your belly, in your lower belly. So on your exhale, just let it be loose, let it hang down. Something really liberating I recently learned too is our bellies, our little bellies, first of all, are supposed to have a little, not supposed to, but it's, you know, good to have a little bit of fat, and most women do have a little bit of that belly fat, and even if you don't, that's perfect. But we're so used to like sucking in and constricting in our culture. At least I was, for so long. And actually, our bellies are supposed to hang down and be big, so that we have space for our womb and our organs to breathe and to function. I just want to invite you in this moment to draw your awareness from wherever it's feeling most alive in your body, maybe in your head or your chest or outside somewhere. And just see if you can draw it down like a little ball of light, just sinking down with each exhale into your womb space. If it gets stuck anywhere, just imagine like your hands are pushing it down, giving a little help, little nudge down to the womb. And just notice what it feels like inside the center of your body today. What it feels like to really focus your attention on this beautiful portal of life, of creativity, of pleasure, sensitivity, emotion, really intelligent center of our body. Noticing what it feels like in there today, the texture, colors, emotions. If any images come to you, just noticing. And then remembering what phase of your cycle you're in, or maybe what phase seasonally of your life. Winter, spring, summer, fall. And then the corresponding archetypes of that are the crone, the maiden, the mother, and I like to associate luteal or fall with the enchantress or the medicine woman. So kind of like the queen. And just notice which one of those really resonates with you, and whether it's the phase of your cycle or a season of your life. Notice how that lands within your womb space, within your heart. What does it feel like to be in that phase? What does your energy feel like? What activities are you drawn to? What emotions usually come up? What thoughts? And taking a few deep breaths just to ground everything in, drawing your energy into your center. And as you're ready, you can just gently make your way back to your seat, and giving yourself as much space as you need to settle in. And reaching for your piece of paper or your journal. And I'm gonna just explain briefly like how we're gonna first. I just want you to take whatever was coming up for you, whatever you saw or felt, And in the very center of your paper, draw or write or, scribble, doodle, whatever flows for you. Just trust your inner artist and your creatrix. And yeah, just express what you experience. Maybe you could draw what your womb is feeling like or looking like. Anything that comes to you. And then we're going to draw the moon dial around that. We'll take about 5 minutes for this one. I'm going to try and play some music, so let me know if you can hear it and play it.
Can you repeat what we're drawing, please?
Yeah. Yeah, so in the center of your paper, you're going to draw whatever came to you in your experience of the meditation. So maybe how your womb is feeling, what phase of your cycle you're in. You can write, draw, whatever comes to you and flows naturally. Can you hear the music? About 1 more minute for this drawing. so go ahead and just wrap up wherever you're at with that. You can always come back to your drawing or your writing, whatever was flowing through you, because we're going to add to that and do the moon dial around it. And yeah, if anybody's feeling really inspired to share anything about what came up for you, or to share what you're drawing or anything, feel free. So give about a minute for that if anyone's feeling called to share.
Yeah. I had this like orange light going down, and it's like a field with refresh energy.
Birth, beautiful, life.
Are you all hearing a ton of feedback?
I think it's coming from Leah's side.
Do you have any phones or electronics by your laptop? That was giving feedback in a previous one.
I think it. Yeah, I don't always do that. Let me
Try walking away and coming back.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I think it's because my laptop, like when I plug it in and charge it, it does like the sound of like running, you know, like. So it's the laptop itself, I think, and I like can't make it stop.
Also, it helps if you have headphones, Leah. I don't want to necessarily interrupt your workout for that, but if
Cool. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I have the headphones I have don't plug into my laptop. But I noticed when Lara's muted, there's feedback.
And you can try walking away, Leah, and coming back.
Okay.
Sorry, I meant walking the children away and back.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe it's like my voice.
I love you, Leah. That is something I would have totally done too. Let me just walk away and come back.
You're still laughing.
I love it. I totally did the heart.
That's so mean. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, I want to like go so deep whenever I do these workshops. But I'm happy that we have space for one-on-one sessions and for connecting after this. But yeah, I just want to just really honor the wisdom of connecting with the cycles in this way. Because, growing up, and I think for a long time, a woman's menstrual cycle, hormonal cycle, was seen as something that makes us unstable, hysterical. It's been very pathologized in the medical, the allopathic medical system. And not to bash on Western medicine, because there is a lot of value to it, but, when it comes to women's health, there's like a lot that's misunderstood. I've experienced that. I've, educated myself on research and talking to and working with many women who have similar experiences and even worse experiences. I'm just like, there's something else. There's some other way we gotta dig into this. So yeah, just like feeling into the profound wisdom and medicine that's just in our womb space for us to tap into, and living in a way that's cyclical and that's in harmony with each of your phases. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that we can get more into. We have time, and if any of you want to meet up with me one-on-one, because a lot of it, there's like a lot of factors that play into it. But, it's a way that we can just decrease a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety and, trips to the pharmacy and to the doctors and money that we didn't need to spend, when really there was like maybe like a small tweak we could have made that could have, we might be experiencing an imbalance or what we think is a symptom, but it could actually just be a sign of your fertility. And that's happened to me a lot. Like no one really told me about the different changes in cervical fluid, for example, that happen throughout the month cycle. So I would be like, is something wrong with me? Like, this is gross. Like, do I have like an STD? But no, just my cervical fluid fluctuating. So yeah, I would love to hear, and you can just give me like a hand, a thumbs up or something if how many of you track your cycle naturally already in any way, like just calendaring. Cool. Kind of, yeah, totally, yeah. There's different ways that we can track our cycle. So I started using the moon dial because it just makes it really easy. Like, you can also just use a normal calendar, but I like how the moon dial is in a circle, and it is telling the phases of the moon, and it's just fun to use. So I'm just gonna let you take a look, and then you can draw this, and I can just keep talking and sharing some things as you draw. And I'll share with you how to do it. You can draw the first circle around your little drawing in the middle. So you do one smaller circle and then a bigger circle around that. And just start with that for now. And if you have like a compass or something to do that, or a bowl to trace it, or just, do your natural circle. And then if you notice, I have, the moon phases. So I usually do the full moon on top and the new moon on bottom, and then you can kind of fill them in from there. The quarter moon, sometimes I just do the new moon, full moon, and then 2 quarters. And we'll just, in honor of time and for this workshop, we'll just end the moon dial with those like rudimentary steps, so the circles and then the moon phases. And then I'll let you know, in my ebook, it goes into detail of how to use it too. So you can also use that, but I'll just share with you the way that I do it. And you can use this as your very first sacred moon dial calendar with your womb expression in the middle, which is really beautiful. And so, you probably, I don't know if you can see, but there's numbers on both of the circles. Yeah, you can't really see like the details of them, but I'll just explain briefly. Like on the outer circle, do you have a question, Britt? Okay.
I was just gonna say that it is hard to read the numbers. So
yeah, I think the image quality isn't going to be the best, but make sure you go to the schedule and find my ebook, because you're going to find this printable one that you can use. You can also keep drawing them, or you can use the printable one, but it makes it easier to do the dates and the numbers. So on the outer circle, I put the day of the month, and I'll start it, I start it the first day of my bleed. So that'll be, whatever date. So if I start bleeding on January 25th, I'll just start my new moon dial on the 25th. And then I'll look up whatever phase the moon is in, and I'll do it like next to that moon phase, and then do the dates going out from there. So you just do the rest of the dates going around the circle. And then on the inner circle, you're going to do the day of your cycle. So January 25th would be day 1, and then, all the way until your next bleed. So calendaring is one aspect of the fertility awareness method. That's, the fertility awareness method is basically the most effective form of natural birth control, and it's, scientific and evidence-based, and It's very effective when done really well. So it's calendaring and then taking your basal body temperature every morning right when you wake up. You can just get, basal body thermometer. And then you're going to write that also. I'll write that in its place on my moon dial, what temperature I was in the morning. And then you check your cervical fluid as well every day. So those three done together, and you can also check the position of your cervix, and that's something, we can talk more about exactly how to do that. So those four, like checking the position of your cervix would be like extra amazing to do. And, in combination, you're basically getting to know really well exactly when you're fertile, when you're ovulating, so that you just, don't have sex at that time if you are sexually active, or you use extra protection at that time. And, there's pretty much only 3 to 5 days in our cycle that we can get pregnant, which is around ovulation. So it's like leading up to ovulation and then a couple days after ovulation. So that is a really beautiful way to connect with your cycle and track natural birth control. So if you are wanting to get off birth control, the IUD, definitely recommend talking to a doctor first and, seeing your options and what feels best for you. But, it is a very well-studied way to do that. And to just have to feel more agency within our health, within our cycle. Does anyone have any questions or anything else coming up?
Did you ever take birth control, Leah?
Yeah, I did take birth control. I took the pill 2 different times. One was the lowest dose of progesterone, and then the other one. And then I had the arm implant Nexplanon, which was right here in my arm for 9 months. And you're supposed to have it for 3 years, but I was having really horrible symptoms from it, and it just really wasn't healthy, and so I got it taken out. And after that, I just decided I wanted to, be off birth control for a while and to see let my body kind of come to balance again. And I just started to feel, I just had this big feeling inside, I didn't want to take birth control anymore. I just wanted to find out how to connect with my body naturally, and and I also want to just disclaimer, I don't condemn birth control. And I think, for people that it really works for and that it's really helping, it's amazing that it's accessible, and I love seeing everybody's art. It makes me so happy.
Wow. It's amazing.
Amazing.
It's so pretty.
Yay, thank you so much for sharing.
I was definitely feeling growth and my
In the maiden phase? Cool. In your life, you're in that phase.
I guess
Sarah.
Yep.
I was just going to say, I'm so not surprised yours and mine are very similar.
No, I guess I was yes, and I guess I was thinking I'm feeling really in passion projects and growth mode, and for the first time disconnecting from whatever normal societal jobs I used to have, and creating something really, really special. And I feel my womb is in this place of discovery and figuring out okay, what do I want? How do I track the cycle? And so it just felt like growth and a bunch of I don't know, universe, planets or something.
Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, it's such a beautiful, powerful way to take charge and sovereignty over our lives, to really harmonize with what's going on in the womb and allow it to inform our creativity and our work. And yeah, I've gotten so deep into that the last 2 years, and I love doing this work with women and just learning more about the womb. So yeah, I'm so grateful that you all came to this. Let's see, who else wants to share their moon dial?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have spotting, and then 2 days later or a day later, my period will start for real. when would I put it on my dial? When I first have that like little like sneak peek that my period's about to start, or is there something I should be doing to like prevent that from happening? Because it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes, you know.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think that's, it's not very abnormal. Like I used to have that too. I used to spot for a couple days. I don't really anymore. So there could be like maybe a little imbalance, but I don't think it's serious. But if you want to like look more into what that could be, definitely we can talk more about that. But I would say the first day that you have like a pretty heavy flow is the first day. Yeah.
Can you repeat her question? Sorry, I was doing some admin stuff.
Yeah, she was just asking, sometimes Siri experiences like some spotting for a couple days.
It's actually scared me a couple times because I also know, like, I was researching like spotting before your menstruation also is like a sign of like potentially being pregnant. I'm like, oh my God. I had a question, like, is your cycle always, like, just for you personally, is it always 28 days? Like, mine fluctuates between like 28 to like 33, and like sometimes it's been really bad, like 37 to 44, and usually I find that's like when I'm traveling, and I've also started like eating according to my cycle to like help balance, which seems to have like balanced my flow, but it still fluctuates on the days. And so I'm curious, is that normal for it to fluctuate between? Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. That's actually a huge point because, from the medical field, we've been told that cycles are 28 days and that you ovulate on day 14. That's like the normal, and that's actually not true. And it's, caused a lot of unplanned pregnancies and just like stress. It's like, why is my cycle 40 days? And actually the average cycle is 21 days to 40 days. So it could be, 40 days is like, that's pretty normal. If it's longer than 40, I would say maybe there's an imbalance. But like my cycle has been pretty much like 33 days the last few months, but it does fluctuate. When I was younger, it used to fluctuate a lot. So sometimes I would just not bleed 1 month at all, and I would like have like a 2 month long cycle, but there's definitely some imbalances happening. But yeah, it's a great question. And ovulation generally occurs between days 12 and 17, but it can also be later. And how like
one more time, the ovulation can occur 7 to 10 days. What was the?
Yeah, ovulation occurs around days 12 to 17. Yeah, and then your period will come 2 weeks after you ovulate, generally.
Awesome. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you, Leah, before we transition into the next one. Thank you so much for sharing your sacred knowledge and for holding this container and just being a really beautiful soul that is able to share this wisdom. Thank you so much. I'm sure you've impacted each of us. And we also recorded your talk, so we look forward to being able to share your wisdom with more people and make a difference as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Britt. It's such an honor to be sharing here and connecting. I've known Sasha for a couple years, and I've never been able to come to the Goddess gathering, so I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm here. And I've been in a lot of transition in my life, like a lot of different moves. I've been kind of ungrounded, but I was like, I'm going to go. It's going to be great. Like, I'm excited. I'm so just grateful to have met all of you and to hear about just your stories, a little bit of your life and your journey with this wisdom and with your own, creativity and womb. And yeah, I would love to continue connecting. If any of you feel called to meet up, maybe we can like meet at the Red Tent at a certain time to connect about one-on-one sessions if you're feeling that. I am offering gifted 30-minute one-on-one sessions for the gathering, and then until the end of January probably, so we can talk more about that. I really work with women who are desiring to focus more on creativity in their life. So whether like usually entrepreneurial women who are like really coming into their passion and their purpose and wanting to be more aligned with their body, their embodiment, their cycle in a way that can really assist that and really help it to flow in a way that feels good and that is in harmony. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And
Thank
you're welcome to
you.
hang on here. I just need to broadcast all real quick.